Hey there, Hasib here, and welcome back to Beyond Curiosity. This is a place where you are satisfied with the cravings that you have for the answers. Today, we are diving into something that might seem boring but is actually super important to you. Yeah, that is SSL certificates. Yep, these little guys are the bodyguard of the internet, right? They stop hackers from snatching your data like a scene straight out of a spy movie, right? So, without further delay, let's just jump into what SSL are. But wait, before diving into what SSL are, we will dive further into why actually we need an SSL, right? So, let me show you something. So um, let's make some demonstration for it. Let's say you're a client. So what better will be a client is, let's say maybe client or a user. Okay, so you are this user. Tick one, right? So and this user is trying to, let's say, purchase some stuff from a grocery store. Let's say which grocery store or a server. Let's say server. Okay. So this is a server, and the guy is actually trying to have some shopping from the server from this grocery store. Okay. So what they do is, let's say this is a e-commerce store, and you are trying to have some shopping from here. Okay, this is a user, and user is actually trying to connect with this grocery store, and what the user is trying to do is to actually make a payment, for example, right? uh, okay, so uh, so let's say if the user is trying to make some payments, and um, there there are there are some things that the user have to do. So he actually have to put in their um, credit card information, right? Number one, it has to provide the credit card information to the to make a purchase, right? So imagine if there is some sneaky little hacker, or yeah, some hack. Ah, I apps. Let's say this one. Let's make a hacker like this. Okay. Let's make it in a fun way, right? So this is an hacker, and this hacker is trying to actually let make it in a red color. So okay, a hacker is there. Okay, anyways, the hacker, what will happen? The hacker may steal this information out of here, right? So uh, the simple way is that you can let's say have an encryption over here, right? You can just encrypt your information. So if you encrypt your information, the chances are that, or what will happen if you encrypt your information? The server, how will the server will know that how did you encrypt it that? Okay, so another possible way is that you send your information uh, to the server, um, and also sends, let me write over here. Okay, so you will send your information uh, with a key, right? Key plus information. And when you send your information with a key, um, the server may also, the information would be encrypted with the same key, right? Again, the chances are there that it could be sniffed by some men in the middle. Let me write this thing over here. Man in the middle. It's the man in the middle attack, right? Okay, so then there could be a scenario where you can handle all this stuff on the server, right? Talking about the various ways of authorization, most generally we can divide it into two ways, right? One way is the symmetric, and the other one is the asymmetric. Okay, so in a symmetric way, uh, what essentially symmetric way is that you have a key, and the same key is being used to actually encrypt and decrypt the data, right? So in order to encrypt the data, you can have the same key. Decrypting will have the same key as well, but you see that it is also vulnerable, right? The other way is that you can have two different keys, one for the encryption and other for the decryption, right? So in this way, it's the asymmetric one. So how does this asymmetric form work? Let me make two keys. One is the, let's say, green one, which is the key for decrypting data, right? And other is the key for encrypting, right? Let's make it as yellow. Okay, yellow is too light. Let's make it as pink. Ah, great. So let me write it as well. This is the private key, and this one is the public key, right? Okay, so let's say now when there is a handshake between, let's just remove all this thing. Not remove this. Let me remove this thing. So let's assume when there is an okay. So let's say when we have uh, a TCP handshake between these two, between the server and the client, and let's do it like this. Okay, when the connection established, the server sends this public key to the client, right? And uh, so that whenever client has to send some of the data to this server, it should be sent while encrypting with this while encryption with this public key, right? When the data arrives to the server, it will be decrypted with this private key. Okay, sounds crazy. Good. This man in the middle won't be able to sniff now, but there is a drawback with this approach. Might be possible that this man in the middle says that I'm not here, I can be here, and I can act as a reverse proxy, right? And what it will do, it generates its public and private keys, okay? And let's say here, it's the let's make it more dangerous, right? It's the public and private key of the hacker. Let's make it green so that it's like the safe one. Okay, uh, so now what hacker will do, it will intercept the communication and sends his public key, or his or her maybe. Okay, so sends the public key. So it receives the public key from this store, so from this server, sends the public key to the client. Okay, So client won't know. This is the main issue here. Remember, client until here in this architecture, client is unaware. Let's say unaware is there or um, anyways, client is really unaware that who is sending him the public and public key, right? So client is getting the public key. Clients encrypt his information, send this over to the server, and now this man in the middle acting as a proxy. uh, what it will do is it can decrypt using its own private key. So now this man in the middle has, I told you, a public key of the server, right? So this man in the middle, what it will be doing is that it will be sending over its public uh, it will be sending it will decrypt the information using its private key, and it has a server's private key, public key. It sends over the data while encrypting it using the server's public key, and server won't know that what's happening. It will say, okay, I can decrypt the data using my private key, so as long as I can decrypt, it's good to go. Okay, so awesome. But now the issue is that the communication channel is awesome. The only okay, so the only issue, or the really the problem here, is that the client won't know that who is sending me this public key. So in order that the client should know that who is sending him the um, public key, we should have a certificate. Okay, so we should have a um, we should need, what do you think? We should need a um, you can say authority, or we can say we should need some someone to have a check and balance, so that client should be aware that who from who I am getting this public key, whether the key is from someone who really I want to have a transaction with, or is someone who is not not the actual person, and someone sniffing into my network. So what's the role of certificate is that it actually, so first, what will happen now, that uh, basically even in this certificate, it's maintaining the same concept of this public and private keys, right? So now what will happen, that let's, I'm getting short of colors actually. Let's make this blue, right? Because of this thing, just to make things more easier, let's make this green, and let's make, okay, it's black. Okay, fine. So what will happen now, we have public and private keys, and this certificate will have a public and private key of itself as well, right? Let me write over here. So okay, so now this server will request uh, let's make it like this. So this server will ask this certificate authority to sign a certificate for it, for its public key actually, right? Uh, then what the authority actually does, it will make a certificate. Okay, let's this is, let's say, a certificate, and it the certificate will contains uh, a signature, okay, and this signature is the main thing. Just listen to me carefully over here. So this signature will contains the public key, the encrypted public key of the server, and the public key of the certificate. Okay, okay, I heard certificate, right? And whenever the now uh, the communication will be in a way that, then let's assume this green communication now. Now this screen communication will contain uh, things like, let me tell you. mm, mm, okay, so so this will contain, let's make it in a different color if we have the option. Okay, so now this green thing will be sent over to the client, and this green thing will have this certificate as well as this public key. You remember this public key? I told you this was the issue. This public key of the server. These two things will be sent over to this client, and the client can validate. uh, this is a client, right? Anyways, mm, okay. Just let's just move this little bit away so that. Anyways, and the server and uh, so now the client can validate this certificate from the certificate authority to know, uh, and when it can validate so that this public key can be validated as well, right? So this is how the whole certificate SSL certificates thing actually works. Okay, thank you for watching this video.